You spent $300 on a ring that was supposed to fix your sleep. But what if that ring is the reason you're lying awake at 6 a.m., heart racing, staring at a number that says you only got 41 minutes of deep sleep? What if the tool you bought to solve the problem is actually making it worse? Wearable sleep trackers are one of the fastest growing health tech categories on the planet. Millions of us wear them to bed every night. The promise is simple: track your sleep, understand your body, sleep better. But here's what nobody in that industry is telling you. For a significant portion of users, the exact opposite is happening. There's actually a name for it. Researchers call it orthosomnia. It's a clinically documented condition where the obsessive pursuit of perfect sleep data makes sleep measurably worse. Why is your sleep tracker making your sleep worse? And what's the one thing that actually fixes it? The tracker is not the villain. The missing piece is a translation layer between the data and your behavior. Without it, you're not informed. You're just anxious. You see a low score and your brain enters a panic spiral. That anxiety triggers cortisol. Your heart rate climbs and the prefrontal cortex, the part of you that can actually sleep, goes quiet. The industry sells you the what, but they ignore the how. They give you the numbers, but no decision framework to handle them. In 2017, researchers at Rush University Medical Center published a paper in the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine coining the term orthosomnia. They documented patients who were so fixated on achieving perfect sleep scores that their anxiety about the data was directly causing insomnia. The pattern was consistent: check the score, spend the next night trying harder to sleep, and that effort makes sleep worse. It's a feedback loop. The score itself becomes a stressor. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between a work deadline and a bad sleep score. Both trigger the same arousal response. Here's where it gets worse. The data you're anxious about, it's not even that accurate. Consumer wearables measure sleep stages using movement and heart rate. The gold standard is polysomnography, electrodes on your brain and muscles in a clinical lab. Multiple studies show wearables are poor at detecting REM accurately. A 2019 study found that wearables correctly identified sleep stages only about 60 to 70% of the time. You're panicking over a number with a 40% margin of error. The device is not a medical instrument. It's a consumer product. You're reacting to an estimate of your sleep, and that estimate is making you feel worse than the sleep actually was. This isn't accidental. Let's follow the money for a second. Oura, Fitbit, Apple. These business models are built on daily active engagement. Every single one of these companies needs a reason for you to open the app. A readiness score, a deep sleep deficit, or an HRV drop alert gives you that reason. None of these companies have a financial incentive to tell you, your data looks fine, stop checking. They sell hardware and subscriptions, not behavior change. Raw data without a decision framework is just noise dressed up as insight. And noise at 6 a.m. when you're already exhausted is indistinguishable from threat. Let's make this concrete. Sarah wakes up at 2 a.m., can't fall back asleep, reaches for her phone, opens the app and sees her deep sleep is at 34 minutes. Now her brain has a story. Something is wrong with me. My body is broken. I'm going to be wrecked tomorrow. That story triggers cortisol. The next night, she goes to bed already dreading the score. That dread is a form of conditioned arousal. Her nervous system has learned that bedtime means threat assessment. This is textbook chronic insomnia. The tracker didn't create the sleep problem, but without a translation layer, it is absolutely making it worse. The data is fuel for a fire. Here's the pivot. The answer is not to throw the ring in a drawer. The answer is to change your relationship with the data. Specifically, you need a decision framework that converts a number into a single, clear action, so your brain stops filling the gap with panic. Instead of, my deep sleep was 41 minutes and I don't know what that means, the framework says, deep sleep under 45 minutes? Check your room temp and cut caffeine before noon. One number, one action, done. Instead of, my readiness score is 58, the framework says, score under 65, light movement only today, no hard training. The score becomes a dial, not a verdict. This is what turns a wearable from an anxiety machine into a diagnostic tool. Data without interpretation is anxiety. Data with a clear decision framework is power. The other half of the fix: stop checking the app in the middle of the night. Full stop. The data will be there at 7 a.m. At 2 a.m., it is only a weapon your brain will use against you. Put the phone face down. Use the rescue protocol instead. The ring is fine. You just need the translation layer. The reframe you need is this: you were never the problem. You were just missing a system to translate that data into action. This is where behavioral interventions like the 90-second sleep switch come in. It's the translation layer. Step 1. The physiological sigh, a double inhale and long exhale to instantly lower your heart rate. Step 2. The body scan anchor, moving your attention from your racing thoughts to the physical sensation of your weight on the bed. And Step 3. The permission statement, quietly acknowledging that your only job right now is to exist, not to perform for a tracker. When you have a system, the data becomes a tool again, not a weapon. You stop chasing the score and start trusting the process. This is why we built the Rested in 30 baseline reset. No forms, no proof, just a system that works better than any ring. If you're tired of being terrified by your own sleep data, it's time to add the missing layer. Click the link below to get the 90-second sleep switch and our complete survival library. Stop tracking, start sleeping. Because at the end of the day, the best sleep score is the one you don't even need to check. Here's the verdict. Your Oura Ring is not broken. Your sleep tracker is not a scam. But the way most people use it, checking scores at 2 a.m. with no action plan, is clinically documented to make sleep worse. The companies built the hardware, but they didn't build the interpretation system. That gap is your problem to solve, and it is solvable. 3 things to do starting tonight. 1. Stop checking your sleep data before 7 a.m. Your 2 a.m. brain is not equipped to process it usefully. 2. Build a one-page translation table. Each metric your tracker shows must lead to one specific action, not a list of possibilities. One action. And 3. Use a rescue protocol at 2 a.m., not your phone. A structured grounding technique stops the panic spiral faster than any score can explain it. The Ring can be one of the most useful tools you own, but only when data leads to action instead of analysis. If you want the full translation framework and the rescue protocol, that's exactly what the 30-day sleep reset covers. Link is in the description. It's built for those who track everything and still can't sleep. Even if you fix the tracker, something else in your bedroom might be sabotaging your sleep. Something most people never think to check. That's the next video. Don't miss it.